And time to get back to this. This is where we left off. Time to get the leave the island areas colored. Trying to think of what I called them before, but I can't remember. Anyway, we will get these laid out with a independent color for each, so it's easier to tell what we're looking to work with in Blender. Starting with this one down here, and then we will work up. All the way around. Try to get this edge near enough. Now, I think that's good. Yeah, I'll use that color. And on to the next. Going to get the next grouping made here. And while I'm making these groupings, I have time to kind of stop and think about the direction I want to take it. And I'm kind of thinking this will have more of a crystalline or glass-like surface to it. So we'll see what we can do with that, all through using textures. So we will see if I'm able to make that happen or not. Right now, though, we just need to focus on getting these all grouped and colored. Well on the way here. So let's just move these down a little bit, and we'll use another red, but a darker one. Zoom in a bit and we're on to the next. Use a brown for this, a dark orange, and now for this one, a lighter orange. Next one up, a light brown, slightly darker grayish brown, a gold. Let's move this one in a bit closer here. A tan yellow for that one. And this one, kind of a gray with a hint of brown to it. This one gets some green. This next one, get a lime green. Now a faded lime green. Now kind of a hunter green, forest green, and a lighter green. standard green for that one by the look of it. Kind of a mint green there. This one, slightly darker mint green. This one, we'll go for a darkish gray green. Just more green, now with added blue. Darker blue. Now for the roof. Kind of a sky blue. More blue. Starting to get into purple territory. That got lavender. This will get once we move it in closer. Good enough. So a darker purple. Now for the very underside of the building. Purple, and this side of the stairs gets a kind of a neon-y like purple. Need to save it here. Done. Next up would be first checking to make sure everything's right. Yes, good. Now we need to load it into Blender. Good. And now it'll be loading it into the image editor we're going to be using. That's the GIMP, which stands for Graphical Image Manipulation Program, I believe. I believe that's right. So here we go. Image is now loaded into the GIMP. I'm just checking something real quick. Alright, we're ready to get working. Let's start with the lower part of the walls, that extended portion. And I think this color will be a good base. Now to manipulate this into something that looks like a crystal. First, we're going to need to add in some noise. And then some blur. That looks okay. And by adjusting the opacity slider, we can make it look more or less And that's how it looks on the model. I like that. Indeed, I like that a lot. So we'll just keep going here. These, do I want to edit these? Probably. So let's see how that looks on the model. Yeah, that looks good. So now we're just going to be continuing this for a bit. Got the next area just about ready. Let's load it in. Oh, that looks nice. I like this. It's different, and it's different in a way that's not overly complex. And that's really what I like. I think we're on to the window frames now. I think. Alright, now I want to do glass for the actual window, or something that looks like it. So here's how that is going to work out. Get a base color. Want it kind of light with a little bit of blue, and then some noise and motion blur. Make it very transparent, or very low opacity, so that it looks like glass with some streaks on it. Looking really good. So that tended to the bottom windows. Now we need to do the top. Had to take a momentary break here because I think, what was going on at the time of recording? I really don't remember off the top of my head, but something drew my attention away. We are back though, so let's get this next group of windows tended to. I'm just copying the window part over and rotating it. Might need to flip that. So that should do it. Now we need to scale it down, move it into place, and adjust it a little bit more with scaling, so it can come down in width and want a little bit more height. There we go, and I think that'll be fine the way it is. Yes, those look good. Now I want to merge the layers together so I'm not working with a unworkable amount of layers. Just compressing the effect layers into each other. And now I'm just looking at it, trying to figure out what I want to work on next. We'll be moving again here real shortly. Just one of those things, I've got to figure out which part I want to attack next here, and that does take a little bit of time figuring out. Not terribly long, but enough. So I think now we're gonna move on to the doorway, just a solid black. Bring it in to make sure everything's okay. Yes. Now I want these two to be the same shade, I think. So that should do that. And I kind of wanted all of it. Okay, I'm seeing it now. This needs to go that color, and this. And that should fix these. Yes, that's looking good. What happened here? Start over here. How are those down there? Just move these into position and easily tends to the problem. There. Now for the other one. Okay, they can just be moved out and brought into one of the others. This needs to be pulled over as well. There. These two bottoms also. So there's that one, and then over here, that's fixed on that side. Now what about the other? Similar problems. Oh, that fixed that. Now these need to be colored as well. So we'll go a darker brown. And I'm just leaving that as a darker brown. It's not really going to be visible, so that's fine. Now let's fix the back, and we'll just bring this over so it's got the same base color there. Now to duplicate, give it a lighter color. I think it was green that we used before. Add the noise and add the blur. That should do. Go ahead and save it and bring it over into the Blender file. Well, that could be turned differently, but is anyone actually going to see the back of it? Probably not, so we'll leave it be. Onto this area, which can be totally black. There we go. Save it and bring it in. Let's get these as well here. Select enough of them so I know where they are on the texture map over there. Right, fill those in black. Save it and bring it down. Get the edges here. Do the same effect. This will give a wood grain type effect. And I'm really pleased with how it looks. So, there we go. And time for the complete underside. Somehow this got moved with the wrong set. We will go a wood grain for the bottom as well, but it'll be a darker wood. And the blur will be using a lighter color, so here's what we've got. Next up, will be this edge of the little platform. And this as well. Right now, let's get the edge here. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. Bring in the proper filters. Load it back in. There we go. Now for this area, same thing. Nothing different going on at all. Though I think zoom is going to work better on this one if I can get the center in the center. So let's bring it over. That should be good enough. And yes, that looks okay to me. Now is time for the roof. Now we need to get the roof dealt with. And I'm thinking of following along with the sort of crystal-y-like pattern we've got for the lower parts. Need to make sure the zoom is in the correct position here. Center of it needs to be pretty much at the center. I think that looks okay. There we go. Overwrite and bring it in. Looking very nice. Now I'm not going to worry too much with this. It's the underside. It's in shadow and it's going to be really high up. Time for the stairway. Want it to have a wood grain-like effect. So this will do it. Now these are the steps. Let's give them a more red color. Something like this. Now for the last few bits, the chimney. And this one I'm going to do a bit differently than previous ones because these chimneys are so high up. We'll just leave them like this. That looks okay. Do need to do the actual top and insides, but those can be base colors. There, that should do it. And yes, there we go. We are done. Hey there everyone. Just wanted to say thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Also, if you did enjoy the video, how about giving it a thumbs up? Alright, I will see you all next time.